Alright, so got a little bit of a project going on. Over here we got the, this is the lid off that goofy cab that goes on the tractor. You've seen it in previous videos. I snowblow the driveway with it, but one thing we noticed is most of the time you're snowblowing in the morning or at night, before or after work. And, you usually get about 4 hours of daylight in the winter, so it's usually always dark out and there's the only lights on it are the headlights. So when you're out in the road, turning around and stuff, there's no lights on the back of it, no reflective anything. So I had these cab lights kicking around from the truck. They've just been sitting. I installed these like a week before the accident, so they've just been kicking around. So I'm going to take and put 3 of them up front here, something like that. We'll probably use a measuring tape or a finger. Maybe we'll put them a knuckle length back. So we'll center them up and everything on the little humps. Put 3 up on the front there, and then take these 2 here. I tried to get my dad to go for 5 on the front, but he was like, no. So thinking I'm gonna put those on the back, kind of at an angle. Kind of angle them out like a little bit. And then I had 2 of these left over. The rest of them I left on the Corolla. But I don't have the rubber grommets because I used them for speaker wire. But if I drill the hole just right, perfect size, it looks like I can get them to fit in there and should be able to make them work without the grommet. So I'm going to take these 2 and put 1 on either side, kind of towards the back like that. And I didn't bring it over. Let me grab it. So this here, I can't remember what I bought it for. It's just an LED strip. It's red. Self-adhesive. I don't know if it's going to last or not, but I'm going to stick that on the back of it. Right about there. And what I'm also going to do is I got this flasher relay. It's just like a turn signal flasher. I'm going to hook that to the rear ones. These 2 lights here, the red light, and then the side ones. So that way the back of them will kind of flash a little bit, making it a little more obvious that it's there. And then got this connector that I salvaged off of some Corolla tail lights, and so that's going to be, because the cab comes off during the summer, so I wanted to be able to take it apart without having to rewire everything, so you can just unplug it. So I'll put that somewhere near where the wires transfer from the tractor to the cab. So you can just unplug it, pull the cab off, you're ready to go. And then I also noticed when I was driving it at night that it's hard to see the instrument cluster, so this is also harvested off of a Corolla taillight. It's just a red LED panel. Let's see if I can figure this out. There it is. It's dual brightness, and I chose red because it doesn't dilate the pupils. That's the brighter of the 2. And I'll probably go with the dim one. I might even dim it down a little more. Actually, this one's the dim one. But I'll probably dim it down a little more. I'll use some resistors or something, dim it down. So that way it just kind of casts a light just enough to see the, the different controls, the PTO, and there's cruise control on the thing, and, all sorts of stuff. So that's going to mount on the underside, inside there, and just kind of shine down and light up like the steering wheel area, hopefully. I don't know, it's not on there, so that might be fun. I'm trying to figure out where to put it and which way to make it shine and stuff. Alright, so I haven't made like a how-to video in a long time, so what better time than today, There's no time like the present time, right? I probably look like trash, so, that's what happens when you go to work. But, let's see. I'll tell my dad I'm borrowing a screwdriver from him. So, first thing we're going to want to do here, take apart a light or 2. So here you have the inside of the light. As you can see, the bulb is just kind of a twist. The whole glass piece twists. That's cool. So yeah, you want to pop that out, because otherwise you can't get to the screw. And this screw here is also your ground. So if you're doing it in like a car or truck, you put a self-tapper, boom, ground. All you gotta do is run your hots. But this plastic piece doesn't have a ground. But let's see, I want to see if one of these bolts will fit through. Son of a gun. Close, but no cigar. Fits in the back one. So maybe in the back we'll use quarter 20s. Maybe, if we can get it out. See what other kind of goodies I got in here. Probably don't need this piece in here anyways. So the first thing you're going to want to do if you want to use quarter 20 nuts. Oh, that holds down that piece. Oh well. You know, they have this little rivet. If I can find the camera lens. They have this little rivet in there. And basically what it does is it holds down the light fixture. Or the little bulb holder. So that way, well, it actually has 2 points. The screw that goes down into it also holds it. But that just kind of holds it in there for you. So you don't pop out. But since we're going to be putting a bolt through here anyways, that'll hold it tight to there. And should work, you know. So now hopefully we can fit a quarter 20 bolt through there. If I can find it. Like a glove. So now I guess we're ready to rock and roll. So there's 2 holes that you're going to be putting bolts through. So when you go through and mark your lines, you want to make a nice long line so you can see it through both your holes. And then you gotta choose how far back you want to go. Now I don't want to go too far back, about 1.5 inches back from the edge. Alright, so you want to get your pencil, and I'm going to take and mark back about 1.5 inches. Just going to put a light mark, figure out how big this piece is. Roughly 8 inches. It's okay if you're off by a little bit, you know. The tolerance is all dependent on you. It's your cab. For me, this isn't even mine, so if it's off by 1 inch, I don't have to drive it. Looks goofy anyways, you know. But we're just about 8 inches, you know, dead nuts. So half of 8 is 4. So right at my 1.5 inch mark, I'm gonna put another mark at 4. We're gonna come back a little bit here, put another mark at 4. And depending on what you use, you know, pencil comes off, marker can come off. There's some neat tricks to getting a Sharpie marker off. One of them is you take a Sharpie and just color over it, and while it's still wet, you can wipe it off. You know, it dissolves the ink. And the other thing is dry erase markers. Take a dry erase and kind of color it with the dry erase, wait for it to dry, and it absorbs the Sharpie ink, and then it can dry erase. So. But I'm using pencil for my application, you know, depending on the color, you know, the material. Sometimes you can't use pencil. Darker cars, you might want to use like a silver Sharpie. So I'm going to be using my Greenlee level as a straight edge. So we're just going to take and line up with those 2 marks that I made and draw a straight line. This will make kind of like a crosshairs. So then take my bulb holder. I can see where line up the front hole with my little crosshairs, and then the back hole I line up with my mark that goes this way, and then we'll get in there and make like our own little mark here. So now I'm all set to drill my first couple holes right after I text Jessica back. See, that's what I got now. So those are my crosshairs. So you can line that up and boom, you got your light perfect. And if you're forgetful, a good thing to do is, you know, you're going to cover right here. We're going to cover this up anyway, so 4 inches to center and then 1.5 inches back. So write that down so now you don't forget for the next one. Then you don't have to try to remeasure, you know. So good word of wisdom from the wise man. So let me just send a text message quick. My microphone's facing my chest. Probably not a good combination. You can probably hear my heartbeat instead of me talking. Mic check, 1 2 test 1 2 check. Alright, I think we're good. We're good. Sound guy's giving me a thumbs up, so Now we got to find a drill bit. That's usually fun too. I used to have a whole thing of drill bits, and I used to not let people borrow them at work because they never come back. And then I let people borrow them at work and they never came back. Oh, this might take me a minute. Keep an eye out for my dad. Quarter. So I found my drill bit right where I left it. Put it in the handy drill. Grab myself a battery. Go ahead and line it up and try to get it as close as possible. Start out kind of slow in case it walks a little. You can try to correct it. First hole down, 1 to go. Actually more like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12 holes to go. And if you want to, you can drill these holes a little bigger. If you're doing this on a car, it's a lot easier because you can just make your marks and then just use your self-tappers and pound them in. And something went wrong here and one of my holes is off a little bit. One of the good things about working with plastic. Oblong it a little. Probably also do this with metal, or I could have just drilled a bigger hole and that would have taken care of the problem too. Perfect. So now we're going to grab a couple quarter 20 nuts and bolts if I have any. Jeez. It's like fine thread junk. So you're going to want to use some washers. My problem is all I have is these huge fender washers. So we might not use washers. Oh, I forgot a hole. You're going to want to drill a hole for your wire now. Doesn't have to be quite as big. That one should do the trick. This one doesn't have to be perfect or anything. Got it. We're going to feed the wire through there because it's hungry. First I'm going to find my strippers. These are also borrowed from my dad. They suck too. They don't like cut the wire, they chew it. My mom is pulling in. Everyone say hi to my mom when she walks in. She's gonna be mad. She doesn't know I'm doing this. For my underside, I'm gonna use my fender washers. That'll help distribute the weight. So, if there's someone up here tugging on these, they're not gonna come flying off. It's always a good idea. Can you hear the power of the Subaru? I know I can. It's a good sound. Make the money, don't let the money make you. Change the game, don't let the game change you.
Hello.
What are you doing?
Hello.
Oh, you making dinner?
No.
Oh.
What are you doing?
What does it look like?
I can't see. What is that?
It's a cab off your tractor. Drilling some holes in it. There's my strippers.
The cab off the tractor?
Yeah, you know that goofy thing that sits up on top of it?
Why are you drilling holes in it?
Dad wanted ventilation.
Are you serious?
I'm putting lights on it for him. He's gonna love it. And what I'm gonna do is on the back side is I'm gonna do like a locking nut sort of system. so that way, you know, they're not going to go anywhere. They'll just kind of sit tight. And it's got the cab lights all on there. I ended up angling these too, so I got them pretty much the same too, you know. This was a little more difficult. Goodness, let me film it. This was a little more difficult, you know, because it's not going to be straight, you know, and there's, with all the curves and different edges, you know, it's hard to measure from. Now I'm working on these side ones. I already got my hole drilled. This will work out just like I was talking about earlier, you know, they don't have the grommet, but if you look closely, if it'll focus on it, I should like go into macro. There it goes. There's these little tabs on them. See them right there? And they help hold it in the grommet. But they'll also hold it, you know, if without a grommet, you just gotta drill a smaller hole. Because I think with the grommet, you gotta drill like a 3/4 hole. I found this bit here, which is 5/8. So, and then you just take them, put wires first. And if you look closely, it actually says top on it. Make sure we get top side up. They go in a little harder. If it doesn't fit, you can always take your drill and ream the hole a little bit. Now it'll go in. There it goes. Even looks a little bit cleaner without the grommet, but I'd use the grommets, especially if you're doing like metal. But yeah, no, got both of those in. The other one's in on the other side too, so I guess now it's time to like wire it and stuff. It's going to be difficult because it's not on the tractor. It'd be a lot easier if it was on the tractor. I got to put it back on the metal frame and stuff, but I think I can do some of the wiring without the frame. So I'm going to go before the battery dies.